in the fight to defend our gun rights. Aaron Dorr here, Chris Dorr here. We're going to reports from our good friend Patrick Parsons live in the Capitol, guys. It's been a monumental day in the Judiciary Committee. We've been giving you guys live updates on social media, dumped out a lot of emails, and now we have a major recap video on what happened today, and more importantly, what's going to happen in the next week to 10 days in Washington, D.C. on a whole host of gun control bills, guys. Come on in. You need to see this video. Again, we have Aaron Dorr, Chris Dorr, and you're going to hear in a little bit from Patrick Parsons, who's been in the committee room all day today. And gosh, I hope he can get a good shower in tonight and get that swamp crap off of his clothes. It was a nasty day of America-hating, gun-hating, freedom-hating, trash ball politicians doing everything they could to attack our freedoms, guys. Come on in. Tell us where you're watching from. We know we have folks watching from all across the country. Sound off in the comment section where you're watching from. We want to see where you guys are at. And we're going to have a major recap here with brand new action alerts for everybody who is watching here tonight. Chris, you and I were watching this all day. We were doing alerts all day. And I think the easiest way, the short version is that the bill passed committee today. We're talking about H.R. 7910. It passed by a vote of, I had the vote here handy, 25 to 19. This bill is moving forward, but here's what you're going to hear about tonight from us. It wasn't just about H.R. 7910. This is a full court press. They're bringing everything they have to bear on us, and it's happening very, very fast. Chris, take it.
And not only that, but folks, we just got done listening to Resident in Chief, whatever you want to call him, Marble Mouth. President Biden gave a he just gave a press conference where he unloaded on everything we've ever said these freaking souls want to do to America. They want assault weapons ban. They want a high capacity magazine ban. They want to raise the age from 18 to 21. They want universal gun registration. They want to outlaw the private sale of firearms in America so they can track, trace, and register us like sex offenders. They want to repeal gun manufacturers' immunity. That dumbass president, whatever, he sat there and literally tried to say it's the only industry in the country that has all of these immunity protections in the law. I'm like, hello, what about pharmaceutical companies, you jackwagon?
Yeah.
Safe storage laws with penalties, personal liability insurance if you want to own a firearm, and last, well, no, it wasn't last but not least, but national red flag law, mental health funding, more funding for counselors, more services, more nanny state. They want to codify his executive order on ghost guns. Absolutely everything. They're coming after it all.
Guys, we're going to give you a live update here in a couple of moments from Patrick Parsons. He was in the Capitol today. As far as we know, he's the only pro-gun lobbyist in the Capitol in the hearing today. And he had a very good interview, a meeting with a bunch of members, but specifically Matt Gaetz from Florida. And we're going to air that. I believe we're going to air that, Chris, here in just a few minutes.
On it.
Guys, we're going to put him in here in just a few moments. But one of the things that was best today was watching Matt Gaetz rip into the radical left, specifically on red flag gun seizures. He tore them to pieces over red flags, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself. We're going to bring in Patrick here right now. We've been getting this tech stuff all figured out. He is right outside the Capitol right now, and I want you guys to hear what he has to say. We're going to bring him in right now. Let me try this.
Is he there?
Hey,
Patrick,
guys.
can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I hear you great. Can y'all hear me?
You're good to go.
Good stuff, guys. Yeah, I'm, as you can see, I'm outside the Capitol here. I was in the Rayburn House office building all day long, working with our legislative allies, Congressman Thomas Massey, Congressman Gaetz, and others. Yeah, I mean, it was a full-on assault on our Second Amendment there today. We had, like I said, Congressman Gaetz, Bishop Jordan, and Massey, and a few others who came in. Stubbe came in, and Gomert, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I mean, this is a full-on assault. It is raising the age from 18 to 21. You got assault weapons ban. You got it all. That wasn't necessarily in the bill today, but they're going to try to do it all next week, guys, with the red flag gun confiscation. and on and on. Huge fights on red flags today. Yeah, I mean, I also heard from staff today, especially on the House side, the emails are pouring in, the phone calls are pouring in. So gun owners out there, keep up the heat. If you're not yet a member of the American Firearms Association, join up today at joinafa.org and get on board. Guys, yeah, I mean, I was surrounded by the commie mommy lobbyists in there from I think it was Everytown and Bloomberg's groups. You had Sheila Jackson Lee on the Democrat side going crazy. You had Jerry Nadler going crazy, and some of these other no-name Democrats who were just laying into the Second Amendment time after time after time right there, guys. So, yeah, I mean,
Patrick, lay out for people the schedule. We got a lot of questions that right now in the comments.
Right.
So today was the committee action. What do we see coming next week on this bill and on 2377? What's going to happen next week?
Yeah, my understanding. So Congress is in session starting at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday of next week. As of now, as of the last I checked, they're in session all day Wednesday, and then till about noon or maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. On Wednesday, we're expecting the vote on red flag gun confiscation. Of course, that could change in between now and then. And then Thursday, the bill that they voted out of committee, we're expecting that next week as well. Over on the Senate side, you still have the sellout Republicans working with Blumenthal and Chris Murphy and others on the Democrat side. And really, that looks like it's focusing on red flag gun confiscation and perhaps some other issues there, guys. So pound those petitions, make the calls, join up, chip in. This is a survival battle. This is literally a red flag battle. This is a red alert. This is for all the marbles. And I think a lot of y'all saw Biden here tonight. Just he laid out an agenda that's even further left than what we saw today in the Democrat House. So yeah, they're trying to pile up these shootings and highlight them all over the country. And we're just not going to take it. And the only way we stop these guys is from grassroots activists, you know, really pounding those phones and making clear to the Republicans, especially, that don't you dare do this. This is nothing but a blatant attack on our Second Amendment.
Yeah, it's coming really fast. Patrick, one of the things that was sad to see today, and you can comment on this as you see fit, was watching all these gun-hating Democrats, these ghouls, talking about all of the previous Republican support for red flag gun seizures. And AFA got established because we were sick and tired of seeing the NRA, Republicans, and everybody else, including, I hate to say it, former President Trump, talking about red flag gun seizures. And what we had happen a couple of years ago is now coming back to bite gun owners in the tail, as the Democrats are saying, you guys didn't oppose this in the past, so like somehow we can't oppose it now. AFA has always opposed red flags. You know, that's never going to quit, but it was rough watching that today in committee.
Exactly, and we can thank the NRA for that, because they supported the bump stock ban and they supported Fix Nix, and Democrat after Democrat stood up there and they blamed Trump too, and they said, your Republicans did this. You guys did this. This is reasonable. It's in the bill. You guys should support this. You guys did this bureaucratically. You guys did it. You guys did it.
Yes.
And they used it. And remember, the NRA provided air cover and TV cover and media cover and email cover for these gun controls back in, I mean, we can go way back, but, you know, in the last 5 years, they provided the cover. They didn't even show their faces at the committee hearing today. I mean, imagine that. I was sitting on the second row, right, surrounded by commie mommies. And the NRA wasn't there, and quite frankly, I didn't see anybody else there on our side either. So, you know, the American Firearms Association just, you know, win, lose, or draw, we're just not going to freaking put up with this stuff. And that's why we're encouraging everybody to get involved at joinafa.org, guys. Sign your petition, stopredflags.com. And the other petitions is at stophr7910 as well. I think that's the number. Hop on board there, guys. Get in the fight. Again, nobody else was here today, and you know, that should be pretty telling to gun owners across the country, guys. So hop on board, and you know, let's fight this battle and let's win. I mean, let's not be fatalistic here. We can win this battle. The House is tough, but the Senate's a little bit less tough. But we can just beat the hell out of these guys politically, and let's win this thing.
Well, that's exactly what we were hearing from President Biden today as well. He's like, man, this is what we want to do. This is what the Democrats want to do. This is what the radical left wants to do. We want to do all of these 11 things that would totally annihilate the Second Amendment. He's like, that's what we want to do. But what can we get done in the Senate? And I think that's why you're seeing us here at AFA, everybody and especially on the state groups that you're watching this video on. That's why you're seeing us laser in on red flags, gun confiscation. Sadly, there's so many people in the United States Senate that were there in 1994 with the assault weapons ban. They remember what happened in 1996. And so they don't want that to happen again with the assault weapons ban. They know that's a very bad issue for them to bring up and to be forced to take votes on. So we see this coalescing around red flags. That's why we're telling everybody right now, there's so much support for it amongst these Rhino Republicans. And it's why we're telling everybody, go to stopredflags.com, send the emails to your Congress members and your U.S. senators. Tell them, hell no, no negotiations, no backpedaling, no retreat, no surrender, no negotiating.
Yeah, and let's just list off those senators on the Republican side. You got Rick Scott of Florida, you got Marco Rubio of Florida, you got Rob Portman of Ohio, Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania, you got Susan Collins of Maine, Tom Tillis, North Carolina. You got you got Cornyn of Texas is the worst. You got Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, and who knows, Lindsey Graham. How could we miss Lindsey Graham? He's literally peaches and cream Lindsey. He's literally right in the middle of all this, guys. So I mean, you add those numbers up, and they can get there. You know, they can get to the
and there's two different extremes I'm seeing in the comment section here. We're going to kind of answer the two different extremes and why they're probably both wrong. But everybody else here, keep the pressure on. Some people are saying this is never going to happen in the Senate. And Patrick, you just addressed that. That is stupid. To count on Senate Republicans to have balls right now after these shootings, that's ridiculous. You just heard from Patrick. We've got 50 Senate Democrats, 5-0. We've got 5 more Republicans who are actively in negotiations right now. That's 55. And you've got 5 additional Senate Republicans who are retiring, who just don't give a damn anymore. Roy Blunt, Missouri, great example.
Blunt, there's another one.
Ohio. Richard Shelby, Richard Burr, all these guys are retiring, and they don't give a damn. So there is definitely a path to gun control in the Senate right now.
Look at just one more thing, Aaron. Look at 2 months back. Look at VAWA. I mean, they got enough votes they needed. That's 2 months ago. They got enough Republicans on that.
Exactly. So that's the one extreme. You'd be crazy to think this could never happen, especially with the NRA as dead silent as you can imagine right now. It is pathetic. The other extreme, though, is people who are saying there's no point in taking action. This is all cooked. It's going to happen. There's no point in fighting. First of all, I hope your grandkids never hear that kind of comment coming from your mouth, because you owe this fight to your grandkids the way your grandfathers fought for you and fought for all of us when it was their turn. But no, this is absolutely stoppable with the right kind of pressure. Like you heard from Chris a minute ago, there's still a bunch of Democrats who are sitting there asking themselves, do we want to endanger our entire congressional majority over this? Are we actually going to go all the way for crazy, creepy China Joe Biden? And there's more and more people who are asking that question. We don't know how far we want to go. If you keep the pressure on, guys, we can still push back on those people and put some spine in the Republicans. Keep the pressure on. Don't give an inch.
That's exactly, that's exactly right. We just got to keep the pressure up here, everybody. We see it. There's a couple of websites being streamed across the bottom right now. We've got stopredflags.com. We've got stophr7910.com. We're asking everybody, click on these links in the comment section. If we don't have them being dropped in there, we probably should. But send those emails, send those petitions, and fire up your email and get the job done. I want to make one thing very clear for everybody. These links are universal. You can share them with anybody, your neighbors. You can tag your friends in the comment section and ask them to do the same thing. You can send that out to your email lists if you still have one of those. You guys can use this stuff everywhere. But one thing I wanted to highlight here, especially for those people who are like, forget it, I'm just going to be an outlaw, screw it. We defeated red flag gun confiscation in 2018. We did it before. We're doing it again. Yep. One thing I would point to in the hearings that we saw today, they were constantly referencing Florida. After 2018, Florida, all the Republicans went and passed all this nasty gun control stuff. One state that they did not mention was Ohio. That's because we fought viciously in the state of Ohio and said, absolutely not. We know that if we let red flags pass here in this Republican state, that they will use it as a billy club against all of these other states across America. They're trying to do it now, folks. We fought and won that fight in Ohio. We fought and won that fight at the federal level in 2018. That's what we've got to do right now. And that's why we're telling everybody to go to stopredflags.com and fire off your emails.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to bounce here in just a minute, and you guys can carry on, and everybody hop on board. I got one more engagement yet this evening, guys. But keep up the fight. We saw the heat. Look, the Democrats are always going to use whatever they're going to use, and they're going to say whatever they're going to do. We had some people in there fighting hard for us today, and it felt like as the day went on, we got stronger and stronger. Yeah. And the Democrats' arguments just start to fall apart. Look, they got the votes in the House. Okay, the question is, are any Republicans going to vote with them? And that is the objective at the moment. Keep up the emails, keep up the heat. No Republicans getting loose on this, because we're going to remember this. When Republicans take the majority in 2023, like, we got to go on offense, guys. We need every dang Republican on offense on the legislation we want, guys. So join AFA.org, guys. Get in the fight. I'm going to sign off here from Washington, D.C., and hopefully don't get murdered here in the District of Communism, and try to move on.
If you see a guy who's like 5'2" with his pants up to his shoulders, and he's holding the club, you better run. That's not a Grinch. That's Nadler coming for you, man.
That's the Waddler. Yeah, I'll look out for him. I'll look out for him. Okay, guys, we'll check in later.
Stay safe, Patrick. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, later.
All right, guys, that was Patrick Parsons, our Executive Vice President, live in D.C. today, all day, working with our allies in the Congress, working in that committee room to help hold the line. There's a lot of stuff coming, as we said. One of the things that was good to hear today, though, was Congressman Massey from Kentucky. He just had a massive blowout in his primary. Was that last week, Chris, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I guess in Kentucky. Offered a series of fantastic amendments on this bill. It was great to get all these Democrats on the record against all kinds of great amendments that can be used in future elections. But what Patrick said was right. The Republican caucus got better as the day went on. And Matt Gaetz, especially when it came to red flags, that was about 5:30, 6 o'clock tonight, was just filleting them alive. The idea of disarming the American people with no conviction in court violates the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, destroys due process, and obliterates the idea that we are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. That is beyond just like an American idea. That goes back to British common law from hundreds of years ago. And that just shows you where these statist bastards are wanting to go. They want this whole country to be turned into the next Venezuela, the next unarmed hellhole, as President Trump has said, where only the government and criminals have guns. Deep down, when they fly out on their Gulf streams to Davos or the G7 or all these international places to plot the destruction of our country, these people are embarrassed. They hobnob with tyrants all around the globe, and they have to sit there and say, yeah, we can't do that crap back in the States because those people have 400 million firearms, and they hate us for that. And that is what this is all about. Has nothing to do with dead children, nothing to do with dead teachers, nothing to do with dead grocery shoppers in Buffalo, New York. It's all about trying to cram tyranny down our throats. So AFA has never adopted the idea that we have to educate these people, that we have to show them the truth about the Second Amendment. There's no confusion here.
No.
There's no confusion at all. They hate the Second Amendment, and they hate you. And they hate all of us for fighting to hold the line. You can see it on their faces. I don't know, Chris, if you saw Eric Swalwell today, but here's a guy who lectures gun owners. And he said the question, who are you here for? Asking the Republicans. He was making the claim that they're in bed with the gun lobby. And I had to die laughing because here was a guy who was literally in bed sleeping with Chinese spies. Don't trust me. Google it. Look it up.
Google it.
And when the word came out, she hopped the jet back to China because she was going to be arrested on espionage charges here in America, or worse, here in America. This guy, who I believe still is on the House Select Committee on Intelligence, is still elected. He should be in prison.
Yes.
And these are the kind of people who we're dealing with in this committee. But again, a lot of good guys fought hard today. Chris, we have a video, I think you said, of Patrick Parsons interviewing Congressman Gates right after he was dropping bombs on red flags. Do you want to air that now? Is now a good time?
Yeah, I've got it. It's ready to go. But one thing I want to say before I show this, victory goes to those who show up. Right now, as Patrick said, a bunch of those red shirt radical lying commie mommy brigade were all there. They all get bussed in. You guys know how this goes. We've seen this before. We especially saw it a lot during the summer of violence with the Antifa stuff, as Bloomberg and Soros funded buses were busting these people in. That was happening again there today. And they were there in spades. Patrick Parsons from the American Firearms Association was the only gun rights guy in the freaking room that wasn't a member of Congress. And so what you're going to see here today in just a moment here is a video between him and Representative Matt Gaetz from Florida. He is also the bill sponsor for AFA's
Stand Your Ground Law.
National Stand Your Ground Law. It's just great stuff, but I'm going to show this to you, but keep that in mind as you watch this. Victory goes to those who show up. If we don't show up, the radical left is going to show up. They've got a president. They've got the fake news media. They've got Congress. They've got control of the House, and they've got almost complete control of the U.S. Senate. And they're controlling a lot. They're showing up a lot right now. So we need to be doing the exact same thing. I'm going to show you this video here from Patrick Parsons with Congressman Gaetz. It's great stuff. Here we go.
Congressman, we're here just off the committee room, the big gun control hearing today. Let everybody know what's going on. It's getting hot in there. I saw you going back and forth a little bit. It's you, it's Bishop, it's Jordan, it's Massey. You know, let gun owners out there know what's happening in the committee today.
Your gun rights are being dithered away by fools right now. I mean, we see Democrats who have no fundamental understanding of guns at all, or the Second Amendment, or just, kind of basic principles of federalism. It's all dissolving out of a spasm to respond to the Uvalde shooting before they even know the details of that shooting. So we're very concerned right now that you see not only Democrats, but even some Senate Republicans working towards gun control. Right. And this will undeniably restrict the rights of law-abiding people. They've said that in the hearing, and they're willing to accept the deprivation of our rights in order to virtue signal, even if the solutions that they're proposing would do nothing to make these tragic events less likely.
Congressman, I know you don't have much time. Everybody out there is watching y'all on the live stream, cheering y'all on. Thanks. Keep up the fight, and we'll update everybody here again soon.
Well, and I mean, look, the key that we got to do, we got to have people fully understand the risk created by these gun-free zones. And what's going to happen today, we're going to have a lot of debates over whether or not gun-free zones are safe or unsafe. And it's our view that, gosh, if you can have former military, former law enforcement, people with tactical experience as the room moms and dads, as the janitors and teachers and substitutes that are armed, that can be a force multiplier to keep people safe. So if this was really about school safety, we'd be getting rid of the gun-free zones, and we'd be allowing that force multiplier for the good guys and for the protection of students. And the fact that they won't entertain any of that shows that it's not about school safety, it's about taking the guns away from law-abiding people. So I think that gets to the core of the tell here.
Guys, you heard it from Congressman Gaetz. He's going to head back in here in just a few minutes. We appreciate your support, and Congressman Gaetz is going to keep up the fight, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Patrick.
That's good stuff.
It, folks. Yeah, that was Patrick Parsons again, live in the Capitol today. I just want to recap the schedule on this. A lot of people are asking in the comment section. This was the committee markup today on HR 7910. This bill is going to move forward for a full vote in the House floor next week. You heard from Patrick. They're going to be voting between 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday and approximately 2 p.m. on Thursday. That's kind of the window. So we've got 4 or 5 days here. 4 or 5 days to pound Congress with calls and emails. And then we'll see where the fight goes from there. What we don't know yet is what else besides this bill.
Yes.
And we have, and now Steny Hoyer has promised a vote next week on red flag gun seizures. Those are the 2 votes that we know are coming. What we don't know yet, what hasn't been publicly released yet, but what our sources are saying is there might very likely be a vote on a straight up assault weapons ban. Of course, it's their terminology, not ours. Assault is a behavior, not an item.
Don't light us up.
This is HR 1808, as I believe the number is. Hundreds of people have co-sponsored this bill. That may also be coming up on the floor for a vote. That's all on the House side. That's next week, Tuesday through Thursday. We'll see what happens in the Senate. But again, to be clear, in the Senate, Schumer has just very recently put H.R. 8 on the debate calendar. That means that bill can come on the floor for a vote at any time. This is Biden's national gun registry, and a lot of Republicans have previously publicly supported this bill. And we're hearing from our sources that might all be wrapped into this ongoing omnibus idea. These people love omnibus bills. They love the idea of grabbing a little piece of this and a little piece of that, toss all this shit in a big shit sandwich, and let's pass it. And we might see that very same thing happen in the Senate when it comes to H.R. 7910, when it comes to the national gun registration, AR-15 bans. The sky's the limit right now, and especially knowing that fearless, brave, courageous, strong man, Lindsey Graham, is leading the negotiations right now with Chris Murphy. So keep the pressure up no matter what you do. StopHR7910.com is the action center. Get there. Take action tonight.
One of the things that Congressman Gates talked about there, and that I've talked about with him before in another meeting, was it's time to go on offense. I saw somebody just talk about this just a second ago in the comments section. It's time for Republicans to go on offense. I absolutely despise the fact that we are somehow by default here in some kind of a defensive posture, as if we share any part of the guilt or blame for these policies that the left has implemented and indoctrinated into our kids through our school system, that we have any kind of responsibility to answer for it. It's time for Republicans to go on offense. That's why he was talking about repealing gun-free zones the moment that Republicans take back control of Congress after these midterm elections. That's the first thing they should do. And that's one of the things they should do. I can think of a whole slew of things, but it's important. And this is one thing I didn't see in this committee today. It's important for us all to remember why we are fighting this fight. The Second Amendment and most of your state constitutions, these rights that are codified in these documents, it's important to remember, these are restrictions on government.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard this so many times today from the left, from that Representative Waddle or whatever his name is, that they were sitting there, they're saying that, whatever Supreme Court case says that we have some ability to restrict the Second Amendment. Guess what? The Second Amendment was not ever written as a restriction on we the people. It was written as a restriction on government. Why? Well, it's because our founding fathers knew exactly what happens when government is allowed the ability to strip away the ability of the people to defend themselves. Let's just look in the last 150 years. In 1915 to 1917, 1.5 million Armenians were murdered by their own government. The Soviet Union murdered 20 million people in under 25 years. China murdered 20 million political dissidents. Guatemala, 100,000 Mayan Indians were rounded up and exterminated. Uganda killed 300,000 Christians. I'm a Christian. Cambodia. I could go on and on. In the last 125 years alone, governments have murdered more than 43 million people in genocides. That is what the Second Amendment is all about. Our blasphemous president, he sits there and says GD all the time. He sits there and raises these ridiculous arguments about, what do you need all those rounds for? You don't need 30 rounds to go hunt deer. No, we have our AR-15s. We have our firearms in this country to protect ourselves and our families, ultimately against a tyrannical government. If you believe that with your whole heart, like we do, share this video on your own Facebook pages. But folks, that's the mindset. That's the worldview that all of us have to just wrap around ourselves. When they try to force us to go on defense, it's a natural instinct to try to defend yourself against their attacks. But folks, we need to go on the attack against them. They are the ones whose corrupt system has generated and is generating these degenerate killers. Their whole system, Chicago, and that's another thing that that President Biden talked about. There's been 20 mass shootings since the Uvalde shooting a week ago. Yeah, they all happened in Chicago. It's where gun control is having its deadly effect. It's where our public school system is having its deadly effect. This is an offensive fight. We need to take it to them. We need to use these stop red flag emails as an offensive tool, politically speaking, and we need to take the fight right back to them and make them go on defense. Biden said it tonight. This is the defining reason for you to go vote in the midterms. You need to go. If the Republicans don't buckle on gun control, you need to go into these midterms and cast your vote for the Democrats so that we can pass gun control in the future, folks. We need to take it to them all the way. That's what these easy to send emails and petition links that we're dropping into the comment section and that we're scrolling across your screen are all about. So fight like hell. Fight like hell.
That's what we've got for you tonight, folks. Get involved in this fight right away. You just heard from Chris. StopRedFlags.com, StopHR7910.com. We've made this as easy as we can for gun owners, folks. It is happening in real time. Committee action was today. Floor votes next week. You're going to hear a lot from AFA over the coming 4 or 5 days. Send off emails every day. Make your phone calls every day. Leave a voicemail if you have to every day. Leave them a comment on Facebook every day. Hound them and make sure they know there's a price that will be paid in November if you guys come after our gun rights. Their party is already in the toilet in the poll numbers. They know it.
Yes.
We know it. We all know it. Biden knows it. How can they not be when gas is spiking to the highest prices in my entire lifetime?
Yes.
If we keep this pressure on, we can still stop them. Don't give up. Don't get tired. Don't get tired. They want you to be worn out. I get it. We're hitting you with emails 3 times a day right now. Don't get tired. This is our freedom. This is our country on the line. It's your grandchildren's freedoms that you're fighting for right now. I see guys here in the comment section, Ray Blankenship. I know you, Ray. I know you got 10 ARs in your gun safe already. But we're talking about our grandchildren, our great-grandkids. I know Ray's never going to get tired. Don't take it personal, buddy.
No.
This is who we're fighting for. It's for the future generations. It's for our country because, you know, there's nowhere else to go. There's no other country on earth that has these freedoms. Look, America's got a ton of problems, but there's nowhere else on the globe where we have a right as citizens that is respected by the government or honored at least in part by the government right now, other than America, where we have the right to keep and bear arms. Chris, I'm going to leave it with this. You mentioned all this tyranny. You mentioned all these folks that want to, crush our freedoms. I think we all got, for those who weren't sure how evil these people were, we all got a good look in 2020. Yes. We all saw what happened with little dictators, city council members, little governors, a local school board administrator, your local, county health board, your gosh darn flight attendants.
Yeah,
all of these people have a good chunk of tyranny in their heart. And when they were given an inch of freedom, they took it and boy, they rammed it as hard as they could down our throats. If you think that was something, you wait until guys like Joe Biden, these animals, they disarm this they disarm our country, the populace. There is unspeakable tyranny awaiting us on the other side of that disaster. We will not, we cannot, we must not let it happen here. Take action today. Join AFA.org. That's all we have time for tonight, guys. Share our video. Keep the fight up. Don't get tired. Send those emails, and we'll keep you informed. Have a great night.
Thank you.